Okay then, good to see we've got quite a few people on board. Now it's 1 o'clock, we'll sort of get things started. I'm mindful of taking everybody's time up today. Hopefully this will be quite short and succinct, and we'll try and get everything into this webinar that we can crammed into half an hour with a little bit of time at the end for some Q&As. Please do use the Q&A and the chat functionality on here if you're familiar with Zoom, which I'm sure you are, because this will be your 27th webinar Zoom call or Hangouts of the day. So please do, use the poll, use the Q&A, and sort of get that discussion going around CRM. So what we're going to be doing today is discussing what is CRM, what is a CRM platform, and how can it help my business right now. So quick rundown of what we're going to be going through. The who, first of all, so it's myself, wonderful, and what scale or fail is, for those of you that haven't been on our webinars before. Why now? So obviously COVID-19 has changed the landscape, so why is this relevant today? And then we'll run through the key topics. So what is CRM? It's a theory first and a system second, so we'll go through that. What is a CRM platform and how it works? Systemizing your customer relationship management. How can I use CRM now? So what are some of the things, some of the key takeaways that you can take away right now and implement in your business? And then we'll try and do a bit of Q&A at the end, provided everything is working. Okay, so first things first, why am I here to talk to you about this? My name is James Gray. I'm head of digital at Wonderful. Classically trained marketer, passion for all things digital. So that's helping businesses to grow through strategically led transformational business thinking. Loads of that obviously driven by digital, particularly in the current climate. I've worked agency side and client side in a range of marketing roles for the past 15 years or so across B2B and B2C. So I'll try and apply that thinking here. I know some of the people we've got on today are in a B2B industry, some more B2C. Across a variety of industries. I've worked with quite a big range of brands there. Some are, again, just kind of highlighting B2B and B2C areas. Some in kind of e-commerce or retail, some in automotive, some in leisure and entertainment, and others there like charities, etc. as well. Who are Wonderful? We are a digital creative agency delivering data-driven business growth. That's what we aim to do. So any clients that we work with, we are here to help grow your business. And we do that through engineering website applications, digital transformation solutions, and creating content and campaigns which drive growth. And obviously, CRM is certainly an integral part of that in many, many circumstances. We've got our obligatory awards logos at the bottom there. So we're in the Wirehive Top 100 for, we're both finalists for digital transformation and fastest growth last year. And we've also won a digital transformation award at the Computing Digital Technology Leaders Awards as well last year. So a bit of credibility there to what who we are and what we do. So scale or fail, obviously at the moment we are running this series. We've actually been running scale or fail for best part of a year now, and our scale or fail program has been developed with business growth in mind. So the program's included a series of webinars like this one, events. We held an event at Google Campus last year as part of London Tech Week. We've also hosted events at sort of in the home of fast growth businesses, places like Flight Club, last year in London, and we've also held a couple at the Wonder Hub as well, which is our new base, and we've also got our content hub online as well, and I'll share a link to that later. It's where all our webinars get uploaded. It's also where all our talks from some of our contributors get uploaded as well. Loads of video content on there for you guys to absorb, exploring the way in which businesses can kind of grow through creative brand, tech and marketing strategies. Okay, some of the partners that we've worked with there, some of those you may recognize, high street names like Metro Bank. We've worked in B2B space alongside people like Elite Business. And as I said before, we've done some stuff at Google Campus as well. So why now? Obviously, COVID-19 is impacting businesses on local, national and a global scale. We've been running these webinars focused around the impact of some of these topics during this time now. And it's important that, you know, we all take stock and look forward, transforming to lead the changed landscape and the new normal when we come out of this. Businesses of all sizes are having to shift and adapt activity. All of our clients have changed their standard practice and their standard activity one way or another. And it has to be done across the 3 time horizons. This is something we visited in previous webinars, looking at the short, the medium and the longer term, looking to not only survive, but to thrive. So almost rather than scale or fail in this current time, we're almost discussing surviving and thriving. There's still uncertainty, obviously, about how and when the virus is going to be contained and what that's going to look like. But what we do know for sure is that this will pass, the crisis will pass. And depending on how businesses, established and new, respond, will really dictate the winners and losers. So now's a really good opportunity to take stock and look at how we can change how we're operating. So diving straight into today's topic, CRM. Some of you may have heard this term bandied around. The key thing really is that it's a process as much as it is the products and the systems that you see out there. So I think stripping that right back, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management, and it's a term that refers to the practices, strategies and technologies that companies use to manage and analyze customer interactions and data through the customer life cycle, all with the goal of improving business relationships with prospects, leads and customers, assisting in customer retention and driving sales growth. So now that's a really long-winded sentence, but what most of you would probably have thought is a light bulb that you kind of do it already. A lot of businesses do have an element of CRM to their operations and to their processes, but often you'll be doing it without realizing it. So you won't necessarily have a systemized way of undertaking CRM. So what is a CRM platform? Well, CRM platforms, tools, software, apps, they're called various things, are usually tech-based enablers which facilitate the CRM process for your business. So they can manage communications, allow you to segment audiences, target and automate campaigns, manage pipelines. So that's marketing, qualified leads, for example, a marketing pipeline and a sales pipeline, grow your customer base, retain existing customers longer and improve customer lifetime value. And what we've discovered in previous scale or fail webinars, particularly with businesses that are scale ups or those that are looking perhaps for investment in the future, looking to grow, having that customer retention, customer growth and that lifetime customer value is a really important stat for your business, to show that it's got longevity and it's investable at the end of the day. So there's a range of CRM platforms out there. Some examples that we've got some logos for here. Some of them you might have heard of, some of them you may not have, some of them you might even be using in your business right now. So some of those that we've certainly crossed paths with in the work that we do, the likes of Salesforce. Salesforce is very much one of the big boys. It's one of the guys that, they're a business that very much leads in that kind of commercial space. They often are more of an enterprise level solution. Then you have the likes of Zoho, Sugar, SalesEye, Pipedrive, who are they're all attack CRM from slightly different angles, but they're all kind of slightly smaller than Salesforce in terms of their footprint in this space. Pipedrive in particular is one that focuses very much about the pipeline, as the name suggests. Zoho, Sugar, SalesEye, they are more led by perhaps the customer process as opposed to just the sales process. You have new people on the block, like the likes of Keep, which is a new CRM. I've also noticed that recently Monday, which is actually a project management tool, has started dabbling in CRM as well. They're kind of that sort of level. Microsoft Dynamics is obviously one of the big ones, integrates with the whole Microsoft platform, and Microsoft being Microsoft, they're quite a big player. And then HubSpot. So HubSpot, we are actually HubSpot partner providers, and so we are we tend to use HubSpot as one of our go-to solutions, but we have worked with all of these platforms that we've listed here and more. So just to give you a bit of a caveat there, we're not here to sell you HubSpot, although we might reference our experience with it as a solution, knowing it inside out as we do. So yeah, there's some example CRMs that you may have seen before. Now, there are a lot of reasons why perhaps some of you have joined this webinar, or you've perhaps had discussions before around utilizing a CRM platform. And there's kind of 7, it kind of boils down depending on which reports and which CRM brands you look at. But it boils down to kind of 7 key reasons really why you may be motivated to looking into utilizing a CRM platform. And often clients will come to us with perhaps problems or gaps in what they're doing that fit in these kind of categories. And then it turns out that actually CRM can do all of these things and hopefully join up a lot of kind of the digital dots, if you like, in a business's operations. So the first one, and probably the most obvious, is contact data organization. So a CRM will help you organize information about all your contacts. This allows your team to keep track of who a lead or customer has spoken to and what was discussed, sort of more of a B2B customer relationship management process. And then things like behaviors as well. So that could be buying behaviors, it could be behaviors during your marketing activity. And you can start to use that data and collate that data in one place, which I'll come on to in a minute. Performance reporting, so tracking quota attainment and metrics such as emails sent, calls made, meetings booked, deals closed, and being able to report on all those things, particularly in businesses that are scaling in their sales team. Being able to report performance and activity of your sales team is really, really important. Accurate sales forecasting. So a lot of businesses, I've certainly been involved in businesses where the sales forecasting has been done through sort of an array of spreadsheets, looking at product sales, projected product sales, perhaps products that are going to be tailing off at different points in their life cycle, and then the customer behavior, so existing customer spend, new customer acquisition, trying to work out what does this all look like for our business, and relying on Excel spreadsheets or formulas and guesstimates is really not the way to run your business, particularly in times like these. So a good CRM system will generate a sales forecast and a pipeline based on aggregating all that information that is available to you. So being able to actually manage that is really important, and obviously sales forecasting is a big part of running your business. Customer segmentation. So as a marketer, this is the bit that I find the most fascinating. Being able to really dig down into your data, into your contacts and customers, leads and prospects, and being able to really focus down on on different attributes to them, and what is important to your business may differ, but looking at locations, their spend or deal size, we've written here, their close dates, which prospects are the warmest at the moment in their sales journey with us, or in their customer journey with us. Are they existing customers? What are their buying behaviors like? How do we target and change our marketing to those customers in that segment? How do we tailor our activity, which I'll come on to shortly. And that bit's really quite an interesting part of what CRM allows you to do, and probably one of the most value added bits. So you're not just speaking to all your customers with the same message, you're being able to tailor that. And obviously that's been part and parcel of kind of digital marketing, certainly on social platforms, and looking at behaviors and looking at that segmentation of audiences is really valuable in that space. The ability to scale your sales process as well. So these CRMs that they come with a kind of almost like a sales process off the shelf, if you like, but these can be completely customized, and it allows you to build out a repeatable and in some cases automatable, if that's a word, sales process. So, you know, it's kind of key to allowing you to test new sales strategies and to tweak and refine your sales process, so that you're able to nurture your customers through your sales process, and hopefully some of that nurturing can be done hands off through things like automations and you know, automated communications as well. Cross team alignment. So again, this is part of the scaling piece, really. You know, as you have 2, 3, 4, 400 sales team members, or you know, people in the business who are responsible for the sales and marketing side of the business in particular, being able to be kind of up to date with the latest communications with your customers, their latest behavioral changes, their latest purchases perhaps, is really important, so that you don't get that awkward moment where perhaps two salespeople are calling the same customer, particularly in B2B, or you have perhaps an area sales rep chasing the same deal that an individual account manager is perhaps chasing in some spaces. You know, make sure that everyone's on the same page. You get to see all that information. You know, that contacts record is kept up to date all the time, and you know the latest news about that customer. And the seventh most common one is increased efficiency, revenue, and profitability. I mean, this is the golden one that we're all looking to achieve, obviously. And most of those other benefits all kind of contribute to this, making the business more effective at closing sales. But also most CRMs, you know, track and log emails, website visits, form fills. HubSpot, for example, will tie in with all of your, a lot of your marketing campaigns digitally, and have integrations with things like landing pages, etc. So being able to make sure that that contact has all these different elements and all these different touch points associated with them, increases efficiency, ultimately will increase the chance of a sale, and also increase that kind of lifetime customer value as well, because once they're in your system, they're in your ecosystem, and you know a lot about them. Obviously you can tailor your marketing efforts, and hopefully improve customer retention and customer lifetime value as well. So I am rattling through this. Just a quick note that obviously we can supply you guys with a copy of these slides after, for reference for you guys to come back to, and we'll also be sharing this on our Scale or Fail Content Hub as well, which I'll share a link to at the end. Okay, so those are kind of the motivations, but these kind of statistics here will evidence CRM is so integral to so many businesses. And these stats have come from a range of sources. Obviously, CRM platforms themselves are going to kind of cherry pick, I guess, some of the best stats, but some of these stats have actually come from Capterra, Nucleus Research, so whilst others have come from Salesforce and HubSpot. So it's a fairly fair viewpoint, and they've all done various studies to kind of collate this information. So headline stats: 34% increase in sales team productivity. That goes back to you know, streamlining those sales processes and automating as much as possible as well. A 29% increase in sales by using a CRM. So, you know, not letting deals slip through fall through the cracks, not letting customers go forever without being contacted, not letting leads and prospects and your potential customers miss marketing opportunities, etc. There's an £8.71 average return per pound spent on CRM platforms. Obviously, it's not always pounds, sometimes it's dollars, sometimes it's other currencies, but that's a general return. So effectively, for every pound you're spending on your CRM platform, you should be generating kind of eight plus times that back by closing those sales and improving productivity and all the other benefits that come with it. Between 8% and 14% reduction in the length of sales cycle. Now, this does vary. Obviously, some businesses have a much longer sales cycle, particularly in the B2B space, as opposed to kind of a quick fire, FMCG e-commerce business. But an 8 to 14% reduction in the length of sales cycle can only benefit the business. And then increased customer satisfaction and customer retention. It's kind of like a headline a win really of CRM, and ultimately what it's there to do, it's customer relationship management. So a good example of this would be looking at something like the Tesco Club Card. So this is a real world example that you've probably experienced. Now other supermarkets obviously do this as well. In fact, a lot of businesses now have kind of advanced this kind of typical loyalty model. It's on the premise that, it costs more to acquire new customers than it does to nurture your existing customers in a lot of businesses. So for those of you that perhaps have got an existing customer base in whatever business that might be, making sure that that customer is as valuable to you as possible and stays with you, and you are their chosen supplier for whatever that might be, is really important. And Tesco and other supermarkets do this really well. So with their club card, for example, it's not only there to reward loyal customers with points that can be used towards future purchases, but they send tailored emails that include discounts and special offers. But the content of these emails, DMs, app notifications, obviously we've all got, a lot of people have got this on their app, on their mobile devices now. It's dependent on the customer's purchase history. So every time you're scanning your club card, your receipt, effectively what you've purchased, is saved, and that's used from a CRM perspective. That is used to tailor and personalize the kind of bonus offers that perhaps you get. So it's no surprise that, if you, obviously now most people are buying toilet roll and pasta, but if you commonly bought a specific brand of pasta sauce, for example, or a specific orange juice, or whatever that most commonly purchased item is, and you're showing a behavioral trait that you do that, then those offers are more appealing because they're tailored to you. You buy that anyway, so you feel like you're getting an extra win by getting a discount on a product that you would actually want. And obviously this adds value to their customer loyalty program, but it ultimately helps retain your custom and promotes an increased spend per shopping trip as well. So perhaps you weren't going to be buying those particular products that day, but the day that the mailer lands on your inbox, or the notification pops up on the app that you've got a discount on the orange juice today, you then go and buy that. So it's a really good real world example of how CRM in that situation works. So aligning this to the kind of digital marketing and sales funnel, I think what we've got to do here is kind of caveat this around COVID-19. So traditionally you have these kind of attract, convert, close and delight kind of sections of the funnel, if you like, which are kind of like a hybrid marketing and CRM funnel that realistically right now, a lot of people are working on that kind of attract phase rather than the kind of hard sales, typical kind of sales funnel, because brands are, I think we've covered this in previous webinars, brands are trying to sustain their position really and build trust and community with their customer base, or their potential customer base right now, rather than kind of following this typical funnel. So we've got to take this with adapt how we approach this kind of sales funnel right now. But I think brands are trying to stay front of mind right now, and they very much are using elements of CRM to do that, without perhaps doing the kind of hard sells so much. So brands are changing their messaging and changing their positioning, and utilizing channels, obviously like their website, but utilizing social, utilizing landing pages, and using their email communications to have dialogue with their customers and build a certain level of trust, whilst perhaps they're not doing business, not transacting at this stage. When we come out of this and we come into the new normal, all that information and all those customer interactions, potentially, provided they're using this CRM process, can all be stored and ready, and it's ready to kind of utilize when the pent-up demand is released. So there's a real opportunity right now although we're not doing the kind of hard sell and the hard close, there is an opportunity right now to actually utilize CRM as a process and really place your brands kind of front of mind when we're ready to pick up where we left off, when this pent-up demand is released in the new normal. And I mean, there's some stats here which you can see around how CRM can help, at various stages of this funnel. And CRMs like HubSpot, for example, will actually allow you to manage almost every one of these sections within this funnel. So everything from your kind of SEO and your content production, social, ads, landing pages, email comms, and that ability to automate that as well. Going back to efficiencies and operational efficiencies is really valuable as well, especially at this time. So what can you do now to adopt a CRM process and implement a CRM system in your business? So I guess this is kind of 7 key takeaways really from what I'm talking about today. I mean, hopefully most of the stuff previously has given you an idea around the context and what it's there for, but CRM now is a real opportunity to get your house in order and use CRM platforms to again facilitate your doing that. So it's kind of 7 key points here. First one is to start at the beginning. A lot of clients come to us with data all over the place, not even stored anywhere. It could be that actually a lot of the deals live within a sales director's head or in a notebook, and they're not documented somewhere. So starting at the beginning and almost accepting that this is the way that we're going to proceed is really important. And most CRM platforms actually allow you to register for a free trial and start using features right away. So research which is the most important for you, which is the most scalable for your needs, and test the usability. As I say, free trials, they don't cost you anything. They do give you fairly limited feature access, and there's obviously going to be the upsell there for you to upgrade your account. But often CRM adoption within your business actually comes down to like the usability and whether it suits, whether it's a good fit. They all have their subtle nuances. They all have differences in how they work, and it really does have to align to what you're trying to achieve, really. I've just had a Q&A pop up, or a question pop up. Bear with me a second. Let's see. I said someone raised their hand. Then if you do have questions, drop them in the Q&A or drop them in the chat, and I will answer as we go along. So please do drop them in there. I'm happy to share with you guys some options on CRM platforms, which ones offer free trials, etc. I'm going to show you guys some contact information at the end on that. So step 2, compiling and importing your data. As I say, we've spoken to clients where, where is all your customer info? Where's all your deal info? And it's in their head, or it's in a few spreadsheets. Now is a great time, while your business is perhaps not operating in its normal way, to really use this time to get organized, structure that data, structure that information. Sonia, thank you for your question. I'll come to that shortly. Now's a great time to either, if it is in spreadsheets, compile all that, tidy it up, look at kind of a bit of housekeeping on that. And if it is in your head, which is the case with some businesses, particularly smaller businesses where it's owner managed businesses, then now is a really good opportunity to compile and import that data. Linking your channels. So CRM doesn't live in of itself. It's not isolated. It's absolutely vital that you're using it to your customer relationships at every touch point. So ensuring all your data capture, newsletter subscriptions, contact forms on your website are mapped, integrating with your social channels, your email clients. So a lot of CRMs, HubSpot is an example again. You can just add a plugin to your email, whether it's Outlook, whether it's Gmail, whether it's any other mail client, and you can start to track and log your emails in the CRM so that everyone is aware of the conversations that were last had with that potential customer or that existing customer. You never lose a customer interaction in that sense. Likewise with your marketing, a lot of these channels go that step, a lot of these platforms go a step further away and start being, you can start to pull in your Google ads. You can start to pull in your even build remarketing audiences through your CRM based on behaviors and the next point, segmentation and housekeeping. So that ability to segment your contacts by properties which are relevant to your business now and in the future. So now it might not be that you're doing the hard sell and you're finding that they've bought product X before and they want to buy product Y. Although now your business may need that, now might be a great time to revisit existing customers or previous purchasers of your product or previous clients, and look to see how you can communicate with them based on those behaviors and based on that segmentation, to see if you can help them. So this ability to segment and tailor your communications to these different segments, is really important. And now is a great time, again, to do that bit of housekeeping and really decide, where do your customers, prospects, leads, existing customers, where do they sit? How can we segment them? How can we target them more effectively when we do come out of this and the demand is released? Planning your pipelines. So a lot of people perhaps, again, have this in mind. It goes a little bit back to sales forecasting as well. The ability to build out pipelines based on your business activities and give weighting to various stages of a pipeline is really important when it comes to sales forecasting. So if you were to build out a pipeline and you put in the various steps a customer goes through in their purchasing journey with you or in their journey to becoming a customer, you can start to apply weightings to those stages. So perhaps an initial email inquiry, there's only a 5 to 10% chance that they become a customer. But as that's nurtured along and perhaps they have a meeting or a call with you, or perhaps they have 10 or more interactions on your website or whatever that looks like, those percentages increase, and the value of that customer to you, the percentage of that value that gets assigned to effectively your sales forecasting changes with time as those customers move through your sales process. And keeping that up to date, again, through some of the automated stuff, through linking all your channels, etc., gives you a realistic idea of what your sales pipeline looks like. Sending your first comms. So, once you've done the data piece, the housekeeping, you've compiled it, you've imported it, you've segmented it, now's a great time to use this as a chance to test and to engage comms with your audience. So a lot of these platforms have got their own email systems in place. So they have their own inbuilt email functionality where you can use that data and obviously any behaviors around those emails. So open rates, click rates, replies, engagements, etc., are all kept in your CRM. But a lot of these also have integrations with third-party platforms. A lot of you guys might be using things like MailChimp or other email platforms where there's a way of that data passing to and fro so that everyone's kept up to date on how your contacts are dealing with your communications. And obviously right now, communicating with customers is really important, no matter what that communication is. And it helps to place your brand front of mind and kind of pre-nurtures any leads that perhaps are tentatively looking at doing business again. And all of this enables you to become data driven. So, using your data from this customer behavior, these customer interactions, to fuel some of your strategic campaign thinking, both on and offline, is really important. Some messages that are in the CRM against a certain customer, some notes that might be against certain customers, can really change how you interact with that customer, or perhaps how you interact with that segment of your audience as well. Just see if there was another question that popped up there. I'll come on to those questions very shortly. We've got Q&A at the end, and I'm mindful of time. So I'm going to try and keep going through. So yeah, I think the key message from all of this really is that digitizing your CRM process is no longer a nice to have. It's fast becoming a vital necessity. So COVID-19 has seen rapid shifts in user activity online. Recent Kantar survey showed that 84% of people have tried a new online service for the first time. That's everything ranging from, online WebMD, online health services, to the likes of Netflix, or even Zoom. Some of you guys may have never used Zoom pre-COVID, and now it becomes part of the day-to-day. customers are now living online more than ever before, and how customers experience your brand and your CRM process needs translating accordingly. So being able to digitize your CRM process becomes even more important. So I guess the question really is, arguably never been more important, utilizing a digital CRM system to manage your customer data and communications maximizes efficiency and gives businesses a fantastic platform to work every single prospect and lead and manage every single customer interaction. So some CRM systems allow for the management of inbound and outbound marketing as well. Again, we've referenced HubSpot before, and include advanced reporting as well. So these platforms have never been more powerful. There's free options out there for you to start and dabble and experiment and find the right one for you. So yeah, hopefully that's been a good kind of 101 through to a little bit more practicals for you guys on CRM. And feel free to reach out to discuss the solutions and opportunities for your business. If you want to just get in touch and pick our brains, myself and my colleagues would be more than happy to kind of help in these times. So going back to the Q&A, I did see a couple of questions pop up. So let me just have a quick look. So we've got one here from Sonia. How do customer success tools fit in with CRM? Sonia, if you're still on, if you can be a little bit more specific around the customer success tools, sort of examples that you're looking at, that would be great. There are some interactions we would use. There's got a response here. Okay. So Gainsight I've not actually heard of. I wonder if it's similar to something like Zendesk, perhaps, where there's an element of you know, from a customer success, almost customer inquiry point of view. If it's existing customers looking for perhaps support or customer support, etc. There are a lot of integrations with CRMs and other third-party platforms. Some CRMs, again, HubSpot has its own kind of customer success platform now. They've obviously realised that this is tools that focused on customer health. Okay, I'll come on to that. Yeah, a lot of these platforms that effectively almost score your customers on their level of happiness with their service, for example, that they've received from your business, and some actually enable you to score customers or customer types based on their, I guess, their value to you as a business as well. So obviously we spoke earlier about lifetime customer value, but this is all about customer relationship management, and provided your customers are happy, engaged, engaging with you in positive ways, then you'd like to think that the level of customer success is going to increase or be maintained at a high level. Just to go back to the example that I was using there, so something like Zendesk, for example, is quite a commonly used platform for managing customer success, I guess, in that all customer inquiries, queries, support questions, etc., would come into a platform like that and are answered through that platform. And then there is a scoring mechanism based on the time to respond, the positive outcome for the customer, provided the customer got what they wanted out of it, that kind of thing. And that would integrate certainly with the likes of HubSpot. I believe it integrates with the likes of Salesforce as well. I'd have to have a look, Sonia. If you want to drop me an email, I'll share my email at the end with your specific example that you've mentioned there, Gainsight, because I've not personally used that, but certainly one of my colleagues may have done in terms of integrating that with CRM. And if there's something we can do there to help you with that, then absolutely we will. So that's a couple of questions that have come in on there. I'm just going to check Facebook Live because I know we've got a couple of people on there as well. See if there's any questions on there. If there's no questions, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. It either means that we've covered it off, or perhaps what I was speaking about wasn't necessarily exactly what you wanted, but I know we've got quite a few people on this webinar today, which is great. So if there's any other questions, please do fire them in. I'll give you a couple more minutes to do so. For those of you that haven't got any questions, or if you'd like to ask your questions sort of privately, send us an email, etc., then I'm just going to share some details here on the screen. You've got my email address there, and my colleague Harley as well. Both worked with CRMs and both work in integrating those in kind of a broader digital plan as well. So feel free to drop myself or Harley an email. Be happy to help, happy to answer any questions, but also obviously at the moment we are working on with a lot of our clients with integrating CRM and maximizing the usage of it for those clients who are perhaps already engaged in that CRM process and already using a certain element of a CRM platform, looking at maximizing the impact that can have on the business, to make sure that you are getting sort of bang for your buck, if you like, out of the system. One more thing on the chat. Sorry, having an issue with your Wi-Fi. Will we get a recording? Yes, we're going to be sharing a recording of this, and I'll also share the presentation with you guys. That is all available. Very good question, because it's timely that I have a slide ready for this. That'll all be available on our content hub at scaleorfail.co.uk. Please do sign up. There is a small registration form to sign up, just because obviously some of this content we've had from previous speakers is quite valuable. There's some great content on there, not just from ourselves as wonderful, but also from sort of panelists and guests that we've had from fast growth businesses, scale up businesses, investors who look to invest in small to medium sized businesses, and some really valuable stories on there as well from businesses that have arguably scaled and not failed. So yeah, please do sign up to the content hub, scaleorfail.co.uk, and we'll give you access to all that content. You can see it all in there, previous webinars and some content from our events as well. Hopefully that's been really useful for you guys. Mindful of time, I know this is going to be a half an hour session with some Q&A at the end. Yeah, please do get in touch, reach out to us. My contact information is here, so you can visit our website, bewonderful.co.uk, email myself, james.gray@bewonderful.co.uk, and my mobile number's on there as well, so if you just want to drop me a WhatsApp or whatever, we can get a conversation going. Hopefully that's been valuable to you guys. Looking forward to our next webinar. Please do stay in touch with us on all our social channels, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. That's where we'll keep you guys up to date on when the next webinars are. Hopefully you found it valuable. If you've got any questions, do get in touch. And yeah, thank you very much for joining us.